The Zirac Collective had ruled the stars for millennia, their jellyfish-like bodies drifting through the cold void of space inside sleek obsidian warships. They saw themselves as gods, untouchable, eternal. To them, Earth was a joke, a dirty, blue marble spinning in the dark, populated by hairless apes who fought wars over land resources and imaginary gods. Pathetic, hissed High Strategist Vernil, his gelatinous form pulsing with disdain. His voice echoed through the council chamber, a cavernous room lit by holograms of Earth's cities, wars, and polluted skies. They cannot even unite their own species. How could they ever threaten us? For decades, the Zirac had studied humanity from secret orbital stations hidden in the shadows of Earth's moon. They watched through telescopes, sensors, and cloaked drones that skimmed the upper atmosphere. They saw the humans' rockets as toys, their weapons as pea shooters, their politics as chaos. The council debated whether to enslave Earth's population, harvest the planet for minerals, or simply erase it to make way for a hyperspace lane. But none of them imagined the truth, that Earth's skies were hiding something ancient, something hungry. It began with whispers. In the Atacama Desert, seismic sensors buried beneath the sand detected rhythmic vibrations, like footsteps. In the Mariana Trench, sonar buoys picked up low-frequency hums, deeper than any whale's song. Satellites, orbiting Earth, noticed odd temperature spikes in remote areas, Siberia, Antarctica, the Amazon rainforest. At first, the Zirac dismissed it. Volcanoes, one scientist suggested. Nuclear tests, said another. But when the energy readings spiked again, everywhere, all at once, they could no longer ignore it. Varnil summoned the fleet's top analysts. "Explain," he demanded, his voice a venomous hiss. One analyst, a junior strategist named Zilla, projected data streams into the chamber. Unknown sources, no launch signatures, no fuel combustion, just sudden surges of power, like something was waking up. Waking up? Vernil's gelatinous body rippled with amusement. "Are you suggesting Earth itself is alive? That it will fight back?" Zilla's tentacles twitched nervously. "No, strategist, but we should monitor it closely." They did. From their hidden stations, the Zirac focused their sensors on the energy hotspots. What they saw chilled them. In Siberia, a blizzard melted overnight, revealing a structure buried under miles of ice, a jagged metallic spire that glowed faintly. In the Amazon, dense jungle parted like curtains, exposing a colossal ring of black stone etched with symbols older than humanity. And in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, a circular patch of water boiled away, leaving behind a platform of polished metal that hummed with unseen energy. The Zirac scrambled to understand. "These structures predate human civilization," Zilla reported. "They are not human-made." "Then who?" Vernil demanded. No one answered, but the humans knew. On Earth, governments that had spent centuries squabbling began sharing secrets. The United Nations held closed-door meetings. Military leaders whispered about Project Starlight and Operation Black Ice. In underground labs, engineers worked tirelessly, their faces lit by blueprints of impossible machines. And in the skies, the first signs of Earth's defiance appeared. It happened during a global solar eclipse. As the moon blocked the sun, the world plunged into twilight. Birds fell silent. Oceans stilled. And then, over 12 locations worldwide, the clouds began to split. In New Delhi, a fisherman dropped his net and stared upward as the sky tore apart like paper. In Nairobi, a child screamed as a jagged line of white light sliced through the heavens. In Texas, a farmer fell to his knees clutching his Bible. What emerged made no sound, no roar of engines, no shockwave. Just presence, dozens of mile long. Warships rose from the clouds, their hulls sleek and obsidian, reflecting the dying sunlight like blades. Their shapes were unlike anything the Zirac had seen, neither alien nor human. They seemed alive, as if the metal itself breathed. On the Zirac flagship, alarms blared, sensors overloaded. Zilla stared at the feed from Earth, her tentacles trembling. Strategist, they're not launching. They were there, hidden in the atmosphere. How? Fernil floated closer to the screen, his gelatinous body quivering. Impossible. Primitive species do not hide warships in the sky. They do not build warships, but the evidence defied logic. The ships accelerated upward, piercing the clouds like arrows. Their movement was silent, effortless. One ship hovered over the Himalayas, its shadow swallowing an entire valley. Another drifted above the Sahara, its hull drinking in the desert sun. And over Antarctica, the largest of them all, a monstrous vessel with a jagged scar across its bow, hovered like a sentinel, its guns aimed at the stars. The Xeric Council erupted into chaos. Scans.
Analyze their weapons. Deploy drones to investigate. They must be using stolen technology. Vernal silenced them with a shriek. Enough! His body pulsed red with fury. This is a trick, a hoax. Humans are weak. They are prey.
They cannot. A junior technician interrupted, her voice trembling. Strategist, the ships. They're broadcasting a message. Show it, Vernil ordered. The screen flickered. A woman appeared. General Elena Reyes, commander of Earth's newly revealed Earth Defense Initiative. Her face was scarred, her eyes sharp as daggers. Behind her, footage played. Close-ups of Xerac scout ships harvesting minerals from the moon, intercepted radio transmissions detailing invasion plans, and grainy video of a Xerac drone crashing in the New Mexico desert in 1947. Reyes leaned forward, her voice calm but cold. We know you've been watching us, we know what you've done, and we're done hiding. The screen cut to black. The council chamber fell silent. Zilla broke the stillness. Strategist. This changes everything. Vernil's body turned pale, almost transparent. For the first time in his long life, he felt it, a sensation alien to his species. Fear. Outside the ship, the star destroyers glowed like dark stars, their silent vigil unbroken. Earth had spoken, and the Xerac, masters of the galaxy, realized too late that they had underestimated the one species they should have feared most, the humans. The silence in the Xerac council chamber lasted only seconds, but it felt like an eternity. Vernil's gelatinous body pulsed erratically, his mind racing. This is impossible, he hissed, his voice trembling. How could they? No, how could they build such things? Zilla, the junior strategist, dared to speak. The footage, the moon, the drone crash. They've been studying us longer than we thought. They've been preparing. Vernil turned his glowing eyes on her. Preparing for what? They are not warriors, they are not us. But even as he said it, doubt crept into his thoughts. The humans had hidden their ships in plain sight, beneath deserts, oceans, and ice. They had reverse-engineered technology far beyond their supposed capabilities, and now they were taunting. The Xerac. On Earth, the broadcast spread like wildfire. In Shanghai, crowds gathered around screens in shopping malls, watching General Elena Reyes deliver her warning. In Berlin, hackers leaked the footage to every news outlet, social media platform, and pirate radio station. In Nairobi, children mimicked Reyes's stern expression, shouting her words, "We know you're here, and we're tired of guests who don't knock." For the first time in history, Earth's government stood united, not in fear, but in defiance. Above the Pacific Ocean, the Starfire, flagship of Earth's Star Destroyer fleet, drifted silently in orbit. Its hull, a blend of black alloy and shimmering crystal, absorbed light and radar like a void. Inside the bridge, Captain Arjun Patel leaned against a console, his sharp eyes scanning data streams. A former Indian Air Force pilot, Patel had spent his life dodging missiles and outmaneuvering enemy jets. Now, he commanded a warship capable of vaporizing fleets in seconds. "Status?" he asked, his voice calm. Lieutenant Mei Chen, the ship's tactical officer, tapped her screen. Zirak Armada is regrouping. They're sending scouts to analyze our ships. Patel smirked. Let them look, they won't understand what they're seeing. The truth was simple. Earth's technology wasn't entirely human. Decades ago, a Zirak scout probe had crashed in the New Mexico desert. The humans recovered its wreckage, its energy cores, its shield generators, its adaptive AI. They studied it, rebuilt it, and improved it. By the time the Zirak realized their mistake, Earth had already constructed 36 star destroyers, hidden in geothermal vents, under glaciers, and buried beneath deserts. Weapons systems? Patel asked. Locked and loaded, May replied. But we're not attacking, why? Patel's smile faded. Because this isn't about winning a battle. It's about winning the war. We show them we're not prey. We show them we're watchers. Now. Back on the Zirak flagship, panic simmered beneath the surface. Vernil had ordered his engineers to dissect the footage of the star destroyers. Explain their technology, he demanded. A technician trembled as he spoke. Their hulls. They're absorbing our sensor scans. We cannot determine their composition. Their engines produce no exhaust. Their weapon, we have no data. Zilla stepped forward. The drone they recovered in 1947, it contained prototype tech. If they reverse engineered it, they couldn't, Vernil snapped. Their species is primitive. But they did, Zilla insisted. They've been hiding their progress for decades. While we watched their wars and pollution, they were building this. She gestured to the screen where images of the star destroyers flickered. Vernil's body darkened to a violent red. Send a fleet to destroy them, now. No, a new voice interrupted. All heads turned to the chamber's entrance. Grand, Stratega Korvax, the oldest and most revered leader of the Zirak, floated forward. Her body was massive, her glow dim with age. You underestimate them, Vernil. This is not a war of weapons. It is a war of minds. Vernil's tentacles twitched. They are apes with stolen tools. We crush them before they grow stronger. Korvax drifted closer to the screen. And if we attack, what happens next? The room fell silent. They will fight back, Zilla whispered. And now, they can win. On Earth, General. Rhea stood atop a cliff overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. Below her, waves crashed against rocks as storms brewed on the horizon. She held a handheld radio, her voice low and steady. Report, she said. A voice crackled through the speaker. Zirak fleets are mobilizing. They're split. Half want to attack, half are hesitating. Reyes nodded. Good. Let them hesitate. She turned to a nearby soldier, a grizzled veteran named Sergeant Cole. How's the signal? Cole adjusted a dish antenna behind him. Strong. It'll reach their ships in minutes. Reyes smiled faintly. Perfect. Minutes later, the Zirak flagship received a new transmission. This time, it wasn't Reyes. It was footage. The screen showed a dimly lit room. A man sat chained to a chair, Liam Cruz, a human soldier captured during a Zirak raid on a research facility in Argentina. His face was bloodied, his left eye swollen shut. A Zirak interrogator loomed behind him, its tentacles coiled around a device that crackled with energy. The interrogator's voice was cold. Speak, or we continue. Cruz coughed, spitting blood onto the floor. You think this scares me? His voice was hoarse but defiant. You think we're weak? The interrogator pressed the device to Cruz's chest. He screamed, his body convulsing, but when the pain stopped, he laughed. You want our secrets? Here's one. Humans don't break. The screen cut to black. The Zirak council chamber erupted into chaos. What is this? Vernil roared. Zilla stared at the feed, her tentacles trembling. They're showing us their spirit, their resistance. Korvax's glow dimmed further. This is not a species we can conquer. They are a species that learns, that evolves, Vernil thrashed. They are insects. We crush insects. But even as he spoke, the Zirak's own colonies began to stir. On mining worlds and slave planets, whispers spread of Earth's defiance. Rebellions ignited. The Zirak's grip on their empire faltered. Back. On the Starfire, Patel watched the Zirak fleet hesitate. "They're scared," he muttered. Mei Chen raised an eyebrow. "Shouldn't we strike while they're confused?" Patel shook his head. "No. Fear is their weakness. But it's also their strength. If we attack, they'll unite against us. We need them to see us as equals, as threats." He tapped his comm. "Prepare the final signal." The signal was simple. Coordinates, 36 sets of numbers, each pointing to a Star Destroyer's position. Alongside them was a single phrase. "Next time you visit, bring flowers, not armies." As the message reached the Zirak flagship, Korvax closed her eyes. "They are not prey. They are wolves." Vernil's body quivered with rage. "This is not over." Korvax opened her eyes, her glow steady. "No, it is just beginning." Outside the ship, the Star Destroyers hovered like silent sentinels, their shadows stretching across Earth's surface. The Zirak had come to conquer. Instead, they had awakened something far older, far fiercer, a species that had learned to fight back. The Zirak flagship trembled as its engines roared to life. Vernil hovered at the center of the war room, his gelatinous body pulsing red with fury. "Enough hesitation. We strike now, or we lose everything." Across the chamber, Grand Stratega Korvax remained still, her glow dim but steady. "You see only weapons," she said, her voice like wind through dead leaves. "But this is not a war you can win with force alone." Vernil's tentacles lashed the air. "They are animals, with stolen tools. We crush them before they grow stronger." A junior officer interrupted, his voice trembling. "Strategist, the human Star Destroyers are repositioning. 3 have locked weapons on our homeworld." The room fell silent. Korvax's glow brightened slightly. "They are not bluffing." On Earth, General Elena Reyes stood in a subterranean command center beneath the Himalayas. Maps and holograms flickered around her, showing the Zirak fleet's movements. Her scarred face was unreadable, but her mind raced. "Status," she barked. A technician tapped his screen. "Zirak Armada is split. Half their ships are advancing toward Earth. The other half, they're retreating." Reyes smirked. "Good. They're scared." Beside her, Sergeant Cole adjusted a radio. Headset. "Should we call in the destroyers?" Reyes shook her head. "No. We let them sweat. Let them wonder if we'll fire first." She leaned closer to the hologram, studying the enemy's formation. "They're not unified. That's our advantage." Above the Pacific Ocean, the Starfire hung motionless in orbit. Captain Arjun Patel stared at the view screen, watching Zirak ships dart like panicked insects. "They're confused," said Lieutenant Mei Chen, the ship's tactical officer. "They're sending mixed signals. Some want to fight, others—" She paused. "Others are asking for evacuation routes." Patel raised an eyebrow. "They're panicking?" Mei nodded. "The rebels in their colonies are rising up. They're losing control." Patel crossed his arms. "Let's make it worse." He tapped his comm. "Patch me into the Zirak fleet, open channel." Static crackled, then a Zirak voice hissed. "This is Commander Kurzel of the Vengeance. Identify yourself." Patel's voice was calm, almost bored. "Captain Arjun Patel, Starfire. I'm giving you one warning. Turn your ships around. Leave our system, now." Kurzel laughed, a wet, gurgling sound. "Or what, human? You think your stolen toys scare us?" Patel smiled faintly. "No. But this might." He gestured to Mei. She pressed a button. Across the Zirak fleet's screens, a new image appeared. A real-time feed of the Zirak homeworld. Dozens of Star Destroyers loomed over its oceans, their weapons glowing. A caption flashed below. "One move. One shot. Your choice." Kurzel's laughter died. "You wouldn't dare." Patel's smile vanished. "Try us." Back on the Zirak flagship, Vernil's rage boiled over. "Enough! Deploy the doom wave. Eradicate the human ships." Zilla, the junior strategist, flinched. "Strategist? The doom wave is untested. We don't know how the humans will counter it. Vernil turned on her, his body darkening to black. They are apes. They cannot— Korvax interrupted, her voice sharp. Enough! All eyes turned to her. She drifted forward, her glow steady. You are gambling with our species' survival, Vernil. The humans have proven they are not weak. They are unpredictable. If we unleash the doom wave, we risk provoking a retaliation we cannot withstand. Vernil thrashed. They are bluffing. They would not risk their own planet. Korvax's gaze was cold. And if they don't? Silence. Vernil's tentacles curled inward. He knew the truth. The Xerac had underestimated Earth once. To do so again would be suicide. On Earth, the mood was electric. In Shanghai, crowds danced in the streets, waving flags and cheering news broadcasts showing the Xerac fleet's hesitation. In Berlin, hackers flooded the internet with memes mocking the alien invaders. In Nairobi, a child painted a mural of a star destroyer soaring over the savannah, its shadow shielding elephants from a Xerac ship. But not everyone celebrated. A hidden bunker in Antarctica, Dr. Amir Khan paced nervously. A physicist and lead engineer on Project Starlight, he knew the truth. Earth's technology was fragile. The Star Destroyer's adaptive AI could only learn so fast. Their energy cores were draining faster than expected, and if the Xerac launched a full-scale attack, the humans' defenses would crumble within hours. We're running out of time, Khan muttered to himself. Behind him, a hologram flickered to life. It was General Reyes. Khan, she said, her voice sharp. How long until the Omega core is ready? Khan hesitated. At least 6 weeks, maybe longer. Reyes's jaw tightened. We don't have 6 weeks. Above Earth, the Starfires. Crew watched the Xerac fleet hesitate. They're stalling, May said. Why? Patel frowned. They're waiting for something. As if on cue, a new blip appeared on the radar. A massive object emerged from hyperspace. A Xerac warship, unlike any other. Its hull was jagged, its surface pulsing with unstable energy. May's voice was tight. Captain, this isn't good. Patel's hands clenched the armrests of his chair. That's the doom wave. On the Xerac flagship, Zilla studied the data. Strategist. The doom wave's weapon is charging, but it's unstable. We don't know how it will interact with the humans' shields. Vernil's body quivered. Irrelevant, fire it. Korvax drifted between him and the controls. No. Vernil's tentacles lashed out, striking her. Korvax recoiled, her glow flickering. You dare defy me? Vernil screamed. Korvax steadied herself. I dare to save our species. A commotion erupted. Zilla, seeing her chance, slammed a claw onto a console. The doom wave's weapon deactivated. Vernil turned on her, his body seething. You traitor! Zilla stood her ground. No. Realist. On the Starfire, Patel watched the doom wave's energy pulse fade. They hesitated, May said. Patel nodded, slowly. They're afraid of their own weapon. Good. He tapped his comm. All ships stand by. If they move, we move. Back on Earth, Reyes received the update. She exhaled sharply. They're cracking. Cole frowned. What's the play? General? Reyes stared at a hologram of the Xerac fleet. We give them a way out. Cole blinked. You mean, let them retreat? No. She smirked. Let them negotiate. She tapped her radio. Prepare the final message. Time to remind them who's in charge. The signal reached the Xerac flagship minutes later. General Reyes's face appeared, on every screen. Her voice was calm, but her eyes burned with steel. This is your last warning, she said. You have 2 choices. Leave our system, and we let you live. Stay, and we end your species. The screen cut to black. Korvax turned to Vernil, her voice quiet but firm. We retreat. Today. Vernil's body pulsed wildly, but he knew the truth. The humans had won, for now. As the Xerac fleet began to withdraw, Earth erupted into celebration. But in the shadows, Patel, Reyes, and Khan knew the truth. This was not the end. It was only the beginning. The Zirek council chamber buzzed with tension. Holograms of the torture footage flickered on every screen. The bloodied face of Liam Cruz, the Zirac interrogator's crackling device, the soldier's defiant laugh. The air was thick with silence, as the leaders stared at the images, their gelatinous bodies pulsing in uneasy rhythms. Vernil's voice shattered the quiet. "This is nothing, a trick to provoke sympathy." His tentacles lashed violently. "They think we care about their pain. We are Zirac. We feed on suffering." Grand Stratega Korvax floated forward, her glow dimmed to a smolder. "You are blind, Vernil. This is not about pain, it is about spirit." She gestured to the screen where Cruz's final words played again. "Humans don't break. They have something we do not. Something unkillable." Zilla, the junior strategist, dared to speak. "The footage, it's spreading even to our colonies. Slaves are watching. Rebels are watching. They see this, and they hope." Her tentacles trembled. "Hope is a weapon, and we've handed it to them." Vernil's body darkened to black. "Then we crush the hope, destroy the source, kill the human." On Earth, the footage had ignited a firestorm. In Nairobi, crowds gathered in city squares shouting Cruz's name like a battle cry. In Shanghai, artists painted murals of the soldier standing tall amid chains. In Texas, a farmer named Hank Thompson hung a banner from his barn, "We don't break." But for General Elena Reyes, the video was both a victory and a warning. She stood in the underground command center, staring at the holographic map of Zirek movements. Sergeant Cole handed her a report. "The footage has gone global. It's not just morale, it's mobilization. Governments are fast-tracking defense projects. Civilians are volunteering for combat training." Reyes nodded, her scarred face unreadable. "Good. But this isn't just about us anymore. It's about what we represent." Cole frowned. "What do you mean?" She tapped the hologram, zooming in on rebel colonies in Zirac space. "The aliens think they're fighting Earth, but they've started a war with every species they've ever oppressed. Cruz's defiance, it's a spark, and sparks start wildfires." Back on the Zirac flagship, the council erupted into chaos. "They're using him as a symbol." A technician shrieked. "Colonies are revolting. Slaves are attacking guards. They chant Earth strength." Zilla stepped forward. "We must act. Now." Vernil turned on her, his voice a venomous hiss. "You suggest surrender?" "No," Zilla replied calmly. "I suggest understanding. We see humans as weak because they bleed, as you said, but their blood fuels them. It makes them stronger." She gestured to the screens. "Look at their cities, their soldiers, their spirit. They do not fear death. They fear doing nothing." Korvax drifted closer to the main console. "She is right, Vernil. We underestimated them, and now their defiance is a virus. It spreads." Vernil's body quivered with rage. "Then we burn the host. Destroy Earth. End this now." A new voice interrupted. "That would be a mistake." All heads turned to the chamber's entrance. A tall figure emerged, Commander Krizel, the Zirac who had faced Captain Patel in the standoff. His body bore fresh scars, his glow flickered weakly. Vernil snarled. "You dare speak after your failure?" Krizel ignored him. "I saw the starfire up close. I heard Patel's voice. He did not want war. He wanted us to see them, to understand." His tentacles curled inward. "If we attack now, we destroy more than Earth. We destroy ourselves." On Earth, Liam Cruz sat in a hospital bed in Buenos Aires, his wounds still fresh. Bandages covered his chest and arms, but his eyes burned with life. A reporter leaned in holding a microphone. "Sergeant Cruz," she asked, "how did you survive the torture? How did you stay strong?" Cruz chuckled weakly. "Survive? I wasn't trying to survive. I was trying to win." He shifted, wincing. "Every scream, every broken bone, they thought it was breaking me. But I was writing a message. With my blood. With my voice. What message? The reporter pressed. Cruz grinned, his teeth stained red. That humans don't break. That we fight. That we remember. Outside, a crowd gathered, chanting his name. Soldiers saluted, children waved flags. In the skies, the star destroyers loomed like silent guardians, their hulls drinking in the sunlight. Back in Zirac space, the council chamber fell into uneasy silence. Korvax broke it. We must withdraw. Today. Vernil thrashed. You would let a human humiliate us? I would save our species, Korvax replied coldly. You see only war. I see the future. If we strike Earth, every rebel in our empire will unite against us. Our colonies will burn. Our fleets will fall. Our homeworld will die. Zilla added, and if we retreat? Korvax's glow steadied. Then we study them. Learn from them. Become something new. Vernil's tentacles curled inward, his body darkening. You speak of peace? Of respect for apes? No, Korvax said. I speak of survival. Above Earth, Captain Arjun Patel watched the Zirac fleet hesitate. On the Starfire's bridge, Lieutenant Mei Chen adjusted her sensors. They're not moving, she said. But their communications traffic is spiking. Patel leaned back in his chair, his sharp eyes narrowing. They're arguing. Mei raised an eyebrow. About what? About whether to die today. Patel tapped his comm. All ships, stand by. If they retreat, let them go. If they attack, he paused, his voice hardening, end them. The decision came hours later. The Zirac flagship broadcast a final message, a single phrase, sent to every Earth government, every star destroyer, every corner of the galaxy. We see you, Earth. We will return, but not as conquerors, as students. The fleet turned and vanished into hyperspace. On Earth, the world erupted into celebration. Fireworks lit the skies. Crowds danced in the streets. But in the shadows, Reyes, Patel, and Dr. Amir Khan, the engineer behind the star destroyers, knew the truth. They'll come back, Khan muttered, staring at the empty sky. Bigger, stronger, maybe even smarter. Reyes nodded. And we'll be ready. Patel smirked. Let them try. In the depths of space, the Zirac fleet drifted, in silence. In his private chamber, Vernil seethed, his body pulsing with fury. But even he could not ignore the whispers growing among his people. In the colonies, rebels sang Cruz's name. On mining worlds, slaves carved the words, Earth strength, into walls, and in the council chamber, Zilla watched Korvax. With quiet awe, the Zirac had come to conquer. Instead, they had found a new kind of war, one fought not with weapons, but with will, and for the first time in their history, they had met an enemy they could not crush, only admire. Years passed. The Zirac never returned, but Earth never stopped preparing. The star destroyers remained in orbit, silent sentinels watching the stars. Their hulls, once symbols of defiance, became monuments to humanity's unyielding will. Cities below them grew taller, brighter. The world that had once fought itself now fought for its future. In New Delhi, engineers worked in underground labs, refining the Omega Core, a limitless energy source reverse-engineered from Zirac tech. In Nairobi, schools taught children not just history, but strategy. In Buenos Aires, Liam Cruz walked with a limp, his body scarred but his voice steady as he addressed crowds. They thought we'd break, but breaking isn't in our code. The Zirac had left a message. We see you, Earth. We will return, but not as conquerors, as students. No one believed they'd stay away forever. On the Zirac homeworld, the Empire fractured. Grand. Stratega Korvax ruled now, her dim glow a symbol of hard-won wisdom. She dissolved the slave colonies, ordered the dismantling of warships, and declared peace with every species the Zirac had once oppressed. But not everyone agreed. Vernil vanished, his loyalists vanishing with him. Some said he fled to the outer systems, gathering forces for revenge. Others whispered he was building something new, a weapon, a fleet, a crusade. Zilla, now a high-ranking diplomat, stood before Korvax in the council chamber. "The rebels grow bolder," she said. "They call themselves the New Harvest. They say Earth must be erased before it spreads its virus to the galaxy." Korvax's glow flickered. "And what do you believe?" Zilla hesitated. "I believe the humans are not our enemies. But I also believe peace is fragile. If Vernil returns..." Korvax floated closer to the window, staring at the stars. "Then Earth must be ready." On Earth, General Elena Reyes retired from the military. She spent her days in a small coastal village watching the sea. But her mind never rested. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Captain Arjun Patel arrived. His uniform was crisp, his face lined with years of command. "The destroyers are upgraded," he said. "New shielding, faster AI." Reyes didn't turn to face him. "Good, we'll need them." Patel frowned. "You think they're coming, Dak?" She finally looked at him, her scarred face unreadable. "They'll come back, bigger, meaner, but not today." Patel sat beside her. "Then today, we win." The galaxy began to change. Merchant ships from distant systems arrived at Earth's borders, their crews wary but curious. Some came to trade, others came to learn. A few came to beg for help against tyrants and pirates. Earth's leaders, once divided, now spoke with one voice. "We protect our own, but we'll protect you too if you earn it." In the skies above Mars, Dr. Amir Khan oversaw the construction of the Aegis, a new warship twice the size of the Star Destroyers. Its design blended human ingenuity with Zirac tech, its weapons capable of vaporizing asteroids. When asked why they kept building, Khan simply said, "Because the dark hates light, and we're the lighthouse." But not all battles were fought with ships and guns. On a mining colony in the Andromeda system, a Zirac child named Kor watched a hologram of Liam Cruz. His parents, former soldiers, had told him the human was a monster. But Kor saw something else, a man who refused to kneel. That night he carved a message into his school desk. Earth strength. His teacher erased it by morning, but by the next day, every desk in the colony bore the same phrase. Back, on Earth, the world celebrated Unity Day. Crowds gathered in cities waving flags of every nation. Drones painted the sky with holograms of the Star Destroyers, their silhouettes glowing like gods. At the center of it all, Reyes stood on a platform, her voice booming across the globe. "The Zirac thought we were prey. They thought we'd beg or burn or fade. But we did something worse. We made them afraid. Not of our weapons, of who we are, what we stand for." She paused, her eyes blazing. "They'll come back. They'll bring new horrors. But every time they do, we'll be waiting, with fire in our hearts, with steel in our hands, and with the stars behind us." The crowd roared. In the cold void of space, a lone Zirac scout ship drifted near the edge of known territory. Its captain, a rebel named Vernil, stared at a hologram of Earth. His body pulsed with rage, his tentacles coiled around a weapon schematic labeled Project Reaper. Behind him, a loyalist whispered, "The humans think they've won." Vernil's voice was venomous. "Let them think it. Let them sleep. When we strike, they'll learn the difference between fear and terror." The ship vanished into hyperspace. On the Starfire, now docked at a lunar base, Patel reviewed the latest intel. A single line blinked on his screen. "Unknown vessel detected. Trajectory, Earth." He tapped his comm. "All hands, battle stations." Then he smiled faintly. Finally. Years later, the legend of Earth's defiance spread across the galaxy. School children on distant planets learned of the hairless apes who stood against the stars. Pirates feared the sight of a Star Destroyer's shadow, and in the darkest corners of space, whispers grew of a human saying, "We don't break, We fight. We remember. The Xeric had come to conquer. Instead, they had awakened a species that would rule the skies.